Hey everyone, welcome back to Fact by Us channel. Today, we're diving into some of the most excruciating punishments ever recorded in history. Viewer discretion is advised. We're talking about the kind of stuff that'll make you cringe, gasp, and maybe even lose your lunch. These punishments were designed to inflict the maximum amount of pain and suffering. And trust me, they're not for the faint of heart. So, buckle up, grab some popcorn if you dare, and get ready for a wild ride through the darkest corners of history. Let's do this. Number 1. Roasted alive in the Brazen Bull. Imagine this, you're sentenced to death for maybe stealing a loaf of bread or something. Seems a little harsh, right? But it gets worse, way worse. They drag you up to this giant hollow bull made entirely of brass. And you're thinking, okay, weird flex, but alright. But then they shove you inside, slam the door shut, and light a fire underneath. The heat inside that thing? Unimaginable. You're basically being cooked alive, your screams echoing through the metal, distorted into something that sounds like a bull's roar. They called it the Brazen Bull, and it was basically a giant, gruesome BBQ for humans. Can you even imagine the agony? The sheer terror of those last moments? It's enough to make you want to thank your lucky stars you live in the 21st century. Number 2. Eaten alive by bugs. Okay, so maybe you think being burned alive is bad. Fair enough, but how about this, being slowly eaten alive bit by thousands of insects? This was Scaphism, a favorite pastime of the ancient Persians. They'd strip you naked, strap you into a tiny boat, and then force-feed you milk and honey, lots of it. Why the feast, you ask? To make you irresistible to insects. See, they'd slather you in the sweet stuff, then leave you stranded in a stagnant swamp, exposed to the elements and every creepy crawly imaginable. The bugs would swarm, drawn by the scent, and start feasting, and not just a little nibble here and there. We're talking about being devoured alive from the inside out. The worst part? This could go on for days, even weeks. The agony, the desperation, the sheer hopelessness. It's beyond comprehension. Number 3. Death by 1,000 cuts. Ever heard the phrase death by 1,000 cuts? Sounds pretty awful, right? Well, in ancient China, it wasn't just a saying, it was a brutal reality. They called it Ling Qi, and it was basically the ultimate form of slow torture. Imagine being tied down, completely helpless, as an executioner meticulously sliced away pieces of your flesh, one by one. They'd start with your fingers and toes, then move on to your limbs, slowly working their way towards your vital organs. The goal wasn't to kill you quickly, oh no, it was to prolong the agony, to make you suffer for as long as humanly possible. Think about that for a second. The sheer terror, the unimaginable pain, the knowledge that your life was literally being carved away piece by piece. It's the stuff of nightmares. Number 4. Broken on the wheel of pain. The medieval period wasn't exactly known for its humane treatment of criminals, and when it came to punishment, few things were more feared than the breaking wheel. Picture this. You're bound spread eagle to a giant wooden wheel, your limbs stretched to their absolute limit. Then, the executioner goes to work, systematically shattering your bones with a heavy iron hammer or club. The pain? Excruciating, doesn't even begin to cover it. Imagine every bone in your body being broken, one by one, the agonizing crunch echoing through the air. But it gets worse. Often they'd leave you alive, tied to the wheel, to die slowly from your injuries. Exposure, dehydration, infection, it was a long, agonizing way to go. And the worst part? This was often a public spectacle, with crowds gathering to watch the gruesome display. Just imagine the fear, the humiliation, the utter despair. Number 5. Eaten alive by rats. Alright, last one, and it's a doozy. We're talking about rat torture, a particularly gruesome method that'll make your skin crawl. Here's how it worked. They'd strap you down, your bare stomach exposed, and then place a cage containing a hungry rat on top. Simple enough, right? Wrong. See, they'd then heat the cage from above, causing the trapped rat to panic. Desperate to escape the heat, the creature would do the only thing it could, burrow. And where was the only escape route? You guessed it, straight through your flesh. Can you imagine the horror of feeling a rat clawing and gnawing its way into your guts? The sheer desperation as it ripped through your insides trying to escape the heat? It's a chilling reminder of the depths of human cruelty, and a punishment so horrific it's hard to believe it was ever inflicted. Thanks for watching. If you found this video interesting, make sure to Fact by Us channel, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more fascinating content. Let us know in the comments which punishment you found the most horrifying. We'll be back next week with more mind-blowing facts and stories that'll keep you on the edge of your seat. Until then, stay curious, stay safe, and try not to have nightmares.